Hi, I'm DC Coleman, a developer at Nywick Atlantic for the SCAP Compliance Checker, or SCC for short. And in this video, I want to take you on a brief tour of how to download and install SCC. This video is number 2 of a series of short videos designed to help users rapidly get up and running and become more proficient with SCC. As of this writing, SCC can be downloaded by DoD users with a common access card at the URL https://cyber.mil/stigs/scap. The page that I'm on right now is the public navy.mil address for SCC with some additional instructions on downloading the software. As was seen with the SolarWinds patch infection vector in 2020, even software from known good sources can be corrupted with malware. To ensure that you have downloaded the intended and unmodified zip archive file, please use a checksum calculator to calculate the checksum of the downloaded zip file prior to unzipping it. You can find the checksum here at the Nywick public website under checksums. Click the link to find the bundled zip file's checksum value. Unless you have a custom checksum calculator, you can use the built-in calculator called certutil in Windows. To use it, either open PowerShell or a command line window and change to the directory where you've downloaded the zip file from cyber.mil. Please note that this checksum calculation demonstration, I am using the previous version of SCC, version 5.3.1. Once you're in the directory, issue the following command. That's certutil tac hash file, the name of your file, and in this case, SHA-256. So the value output from the checksum calculator should match what is on the Nywick public website. And in this case, it does. If not, please do not use the downloaded software. A similar process for calculating checksums exists for Linux systems using the SHA-256 sum command. SCC is available in various different operating systems, including the most common Linux distributions, Mac OS X and Solaris. For this demonstration, I will be installing the Windows version. This part of the video will instruct you on how to install SCC on Windows. Once the zip file is downloaded and unzipped, open the folder to display the contents. In version 5.4, there are 5 files in this folder. There's a user manual that's going to give you an in-depth technical overview of the product. This manual is comprehensive, and it should serve as a reference for questions you might have, and includes a frequently asked questions section. There's an installer executable, usually something named SCC version number plus operating system plus setup.exe. There is a release notes file. And finally, there's a zip archive that contains a fully functional version of SCC in the case you didn't want to install SCC in the program files system folder. In other words, you can just run it from this folder once extracted. So now we're going to go ahead and double click the setup.exe file. Make sure you have administrative privileges to install, as you won't be able to without them. On the pop-up screen, you should see that the publisher is verified as cs.nywickatlantic.001. Most government computers should have the DoD root certificate installed. If the root certificate is not installed, you can go to this URL to install it. So click Show More Information and then Show Information about the publisher certificate. And what you should see is the following information that conveys that this certificate is issued by the DoD Certificate Authority. Click OK and then Yes. And now click that you accept the license agreement. Click Next to accept the default location of the installation folder. And then on this screen, you're going to be given a choice of additional components to install. And so leave the Install Disastig SCAP content checkbox checked for now, and do not click the Install SCC service checkbox at this time, as we will visit the installation of this component in another video. So here on this screen, if you want to install a desktop shortcut, you can do so here by checking this checkbox. So click Next. And finally, click Install. And in this case, I've actually already installed it, but if you've installed it for the first time, you won't see that. In a few minutes, the application will complete installing and you will have SCC installed on your system. Click Finish. And if you've created a desktop shortcut, you can double click that here. Otherwise, go to the program files and click here on the Start menu. Click Yes. And there is SCC. Another very common installation of SCC is for Red Hat Enterprise Linux systems. Since the installation is identical on both RHEL 7 and 8, as well as CentOS 7 and 8, I will use CentOS 7 for this demo, but the procedure should be applied for RHEL 7 and 8, as well as CentOS 8. Additionally, this procedure is the same for the 32-bit version of SCC. If this is the first time you've installed SCC on your system, you may not have installed the GNU PG public key for SCC before. In order to obtain this key, please send an email to scc_lant-scc@navy.mil detailing your request. Once you have the key in your possession, you can run the command like this. So in this scenario, I'm on the desktop and I've got two folders. One is GPG and the other is my collection of RPM files. So the private key is in the GPG folder. And so how I'm going to run this is like this: RPM tac import, and then the directory for the relative path, and then the key file name. And the key file name could be a .asc file, or it might be just by itself. But typically, it's going to be RPM tac GPG tac key tac SCC, and then maybe a version number. Like in this case, it's 5.4. And so I'm going to import that now. And if all is well, nothing should be returned. So likewise, to verify, after installing the GPG, to verify your SCC package is digitally signed, you're going to want to run the following command. And it's RPM tac K, and then the relative path, and whatever RPM you're using. And so if it's successful, you should see an OK at the end here. So in your terminal window, find the location where you have downloaded SCC. In this case, I've downloaded the package to the desktop, and I've now changed directory to that directory. When you open that directory, look inside and note there are files just like the Windows installer bundle: a user manual, release notes, the tar.gc file itself, which is used as a self-contained version of SCC, and an RPM file. By default, the application installs to the /opt/scc directory, so /opt must exist prior to installation. From the directory containing the RPM file, run the following command to install it. And now SCC 5.4 is installed in /opt/scc. Note that you can install in a different directory using the RPM tac prefix switch. For example, if I wanted to install in the /user/local directory instead of /opt, I would run something like this. And then put the name of your RPM like that. And of course, in this case, SCC has already been installed. But if you wanted to install it in /user/local, this is the command you would do. So now, to launch SCC, you want to go to your terminal and type in /opt/scc/scc, which is the default installation. And now you should see SCC on your desktop. Additionally, if you want to uninstall SCC, use the following command. And so that's RPM tac E /war SCC. And so in this case, if you want to completely remove the contents of /opt/scc, you can do so now. SCC is available to install and use on both Ubuntu 16 and 18. Open a terminal window and find the location where you've downloaded SCC. In this case, I've downloaded the package to the desktop. Open that directory and note files just like the Windows and RHEL installer bundle. Those files include a user manual, release notes, the tar.gz file itself, and a .deb file. To install, issue the following command. That's d package tac I, and then the name of the DEB file. Note that you're going to have to do this as super user. Okay, and now to launch, go to your terminal and type the following command. Just like the RHEL version, it installs in /opt/scc. And you should now see SCC installed on your Ubuntu desktop. SCC is also available on up to version Catalina or OS X 10.15 for Mac. Open up the folder where you've downloaded and uncompressed SCC. In this case, I've downloaded the package to the desktop. Open that directory and note files just like Windows and the Linux installer bundle: a user manual, release notes, the tar.gz file itself, and a DMG file. We want to note a word of caution about an error message that seems to happen when installing SCC using this DMG file. Occasionally doing so results in an error message stating SCC is damaged and can't be opened, or SCC can't be opened because it's from an unidentified developer. If this happens to you, you'll need to go to the System Preferences, and then the Security and Privacy area, and then the General tab. Click on the icon on the bottom left and unlock the settings, and then select Allow Applications Downloaded from Anywhere. Security and Privacy, unlock. Make sure you're in the General area, of course. And now here I've got Anywhere selected. This is what you'll have to select. In some scenarios, this might not be available, especially in version 10.15 Catalina. If that happens to you, you can open up a terminal and type the following. That's sudo spctl tac master tac disable. And then click the lock, and it should work from there. When you're ready to install the disk image, double-click the disk image to mount the image on your drive. A new window with the file scc.app and a link to your applications directory will appear. The applications directory is simply a symbolic link to the applications directory on your system. To install, just drag the SCC file onto the applications folder. Upon completion, the SCC application will be installed under /applications/scc.app. At this point, it might be a good idea to drop the icon in your dock so it's available when you need it. So now that we have SCC installed, and I've got an icon here in the dock, I'm just going to click it. And you're going to see this. Every time you launch it, you're going to have to put in your administrator password or use Touch ID. So SCC is now up and running. Now, there's a peculiarity in the OS X version of SCC in regards to the menu. Notice how I'm clicking here and nothing's happening. This is just something that we can't control. It's unavailable to respond to clicks until you click outside of the application and then click back on it. Additionally, the columns may be a little truncated. You can resize them like this by using the column headers. Lastly, the checkbox in the GUI on OS X is only responsive to double clicks instead of single clicks. Normally for checkboxes, you would just single click to activate or deactivate, but in this scenario, you'll need to actually double click them. You can also install SCC and scan on Solaris 10 and 11. This video is going to show you how to install using the graphical login for Solaris 11. That being said, a graphical user interface is not supported by SCC in Solaris 11, so this process you'll have to do remotely. Open up a folder where you've downloaded and uncompressed SCC. In this case, I've downloaded the package to the desktop. Open the directory and note files just like Windows and Linux, those installers. A user manual, release notes, the tar.gz file itself, and a .gz file which has the package ready to install after you've unzipped it. And so that's what we'll do now. What you want to do is unzip the .gz file by issuing the following command. And of course, you're going to need to be root to do that. Okay, now notice that that file has been unzipped. It's now called SCC 5.4 Solaris 11 I86 and has no .gz on the end. You're then going to be able to install the package by issuing the following command. So that's package add, tac D, and then the name of the package, and then all. Select yes. And installation is successful. Please note the default location is /opt/scc. So that's where we're going to go to launch it. And now remember, we're going to use CSCC because the GUI is not supported for Solaris 11. And that is the command line version of SCC having been run. You can also remove the package by doing the following command. And the package is removed. Thanks for watching this video. For more information, please go to www.nywicatlantic.navy.mil/SCAP.